Welcome to Libra Zone. Have you ever had those moments where the world seems to go quiet just long enough for you to hear your own heart beating? It is that strange, suspended second before a heavy door swings open, or the breath you take right before you say something that you know will change your life forever. As we approach the final stretch of the month, specifically January 29th, 30th, and 31st, there is a distinct sense that the atmosphere around you is thickening with purpose. You might have felt it already, a subtle vibration in your daily routine that suggests the status quo is no longer enough. It is as if the universe has been watching you weigh your options, watching you balance the needs of others against your own silent ambitions, and has finally decided that the time for observation is over. These 3 days are not just the end of a calendar month. They represent a significant energetic threshold for every Libra who has been waiting for a sign, a shift, or a reason to finally move. When we talk about destiny knocking at your door, it can sound like a grand cinematic event involving trumpets and bright lights. But for the refined and intellectual energy of a Libra, destiny usually arrives with a much softer touch. It shows up as a realization that clicks into place while you are making coffee. It appears as a sudden, undeniable clarity during a conversation that would have seemed ordinary just a week ago. On January 29th, you may find that the internal fog you have been navigating begins to lift. There is a specific kind of mental alignment occurring right now that allows you to see the patterns in your life with startling objectivity. You are the sign of the scales, and you spend so much of your life trying to find the perfect middle ground. However, destiny often requires us to tilt the scales in one direction to gain momentum. This first day of the transition is about recognizing where you have been holding yourself back out of a fear of causing friction. You might realize that the peace you have been maintaining is actually just a form of stagnation. As we move into January 30th, the energy shifts from internal realization to an external invitation. This is the day when the knock on the door becomes audible. This could manifest as a literal offer, a message from someone from your past, or a professional opportunity that feels almost too perfectly timed to be a coincidence. In Western astrology, we look at the way planetary movements trigger our personal growth, and right now, the cosmic alignment is asking you to look at your foundations. Are you standing on ground that you chose, or are you standing where others expected you to be? The 31st of January marks the culmination of this 3-day window, a time when the pressure to choose becomes a catalyst for liberation. It is a moment of closing one chapter so that the ink can dry and you can finally turn the page. You cannot carry the weight of every unfinished decision into the new month. This is your time to decide what stays behind and what moves forward with you into the future. One of the most profound things about being a Libra is your innate ability to see all sides of a situation. While this is your greatest strength, it can also be your greatest prison. You have likely spent the last few weeks, or even months, analyzing a particular area of your life. Perhaps it is a relationship that has lost its rhythm, or a career path that no longer reflects who you are becoming. You have weighed the pros and cons until the scales have become stuck. The energy of January 29th through the 31st is designed to break that deadlock. It is not about making a perfect choice. It is about making a choice that is true to your current evolution. Destiny is not a fixed destination that you arrive at by accident. It is a series of doors that only open when you show up with the courage to turn the handle. These final days of January are providing you with the key, but you are the one who has to use it. Think back to the conversations you have had recently. Has there been a recurring theme? Has someone mentioned an idea to you that made your heart race just a little bit faster? Often, we dismiss these as passing thoughts, but during this specific window of time, those thoughts are actually breadcrumbs. On January 30th, pay very close attention to the information that enters your sphere. There is a high probability that a piece of the puzzle you have been missing will finally be handed to you. It might not look like a solution at first. It might look like a challenge or a demand for your time. But for a Libra, the path to balance often leads through a period of intense focus. You have the intellectual stamina to handle this, provided you do not let indecision drain your energy before you even begin. The concept of timing is crucial here. We often hear that everything happens for a reason, but we rarely discuss the importance of being ready when that reason presents itself. If destiny is knocking on January 29th, 30th, and 31st, it implies that there is a window of opportunity that will not stay open forever. For the Libra soul, there is often a tendency to wait for a more harmonious moment, a time when everyone else is happy and the path is perfectly cleared. But life is rarely that tidy. The turning point waiting for you in these final days of January might require you to step out of your comfort zone and into a space where you are the priority. It is okay to be the one who says yes to an offer that feels right, even if you do not have all the details mapped out yet. By January 31st, you might feel a sense of urgency. This is not a negative stress, but rather a soul-level recognition that you are at a crossroads. Imagine your life as a beautifully designed room that has become a bit cluttered over the years. You love everything in it, but you can no longer move freely. The destiny knocking at your door is the invitation to redesign that space. It is the realization that you have outgrown certain habits, certain social circles, or even certain ways of thinking about yourself. As a Libra, you thrive when your environment matches your internal state of grace. If your life feels chaotic right now, it is because your internal world is ready for a higher level of order and beauty. These 3 days are giving you the permission you have been waiting for to prioritize your own evolution. You might be wondering why these specific dates feel so heavy with meaning. In the study of energy and awareness, we see that the transition between months often acts as a psychological reset. However, the end of January carries the added weight of being the first major conclusion of the new year. Any intentions you set at the beginning of the month are now being tested. This is where the theoretical meets the practical. If you said you wanted more peace, destiny might knock by presenting a situation where you have to set a boundary. If you said you wanted more abundance, destiny might knock by offering a project that requires you to step into a leadership role you felt unprepared for. The knock is rarely a polite suggestion. It is a call to action. It is a reminder that you are the architect of your own balance. For many Libras, the challenge of January 29th and 30th will be overcoming the habit of seeking external validation. You might feel the urge to call 5 different friends to ask their opinion on what you should do. While collaboration is part of your nature, this particular turning point is a solo journey. The door that destiny is opening is only wide enough for you. If you wait for a consensus, you might find that the energy has shifted by the time you are ready to move. Trust your intuition during these days. Your gut feeling is functioning at a high frequency right now, and it is capable of cutting through the noise of your overactive mind. If a choice feels light and expansive, it is likely the right one. If it feels heavy and restrictive, even if it looks good on paper, it might be part of the past you are meant to leave behind. As we reach the 31st, there is a sense of completion. You are being asked to look at the scales one last time before the month closes. What have you learned about yourself in the last 30 days? How have you grown? The realizations you have on this day are the seeds for your entire spring season. Do not rush through these moments. Even if your schedule is busy, take a few minutes each evening to sit in silence and just listen. The knock of destiny isn't always a loud bang. Sometimes it is the sound of a gear finally catching. It is the feeling of a heavy weight being lifted from your shoulders because you finally stopped carrying a doubt that wasn't yours to begin with. The area of your life being activated could be your sense of self-worth. Libras are famous for their generosity, but sometimes that generosity is a way of avoiding the work of self-actualization. On January 29th and 30th, notice if you are being pushed to value your time, your talents, or your emotional energy more highly. This is a very common way for destiny to show up. It presents a situation where you are forced to choose between your old self-sacrificing patterns and a new, more empowered version of yourself. Choosing yourself is not an act of selfishness, it is an act of alignment. When you are in balance with your true purpose, you are actually more capable of helping others and bringing beauty into the world. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and you certainly cannot lead others if you are lost in your own indecision. This period is also about the power of the final decision. We often live in a state of maybe or someday. We keep doors cracked open just in case we change our minds. But a cracked door lets in a draft that can chill your entire house. January 31st is a day for closing those drafts. It is a day for saying a firm no to things that no longer serve you, so that your yes has actual power. When you commit to a path, the universe has a way of rising to meet you. The hesitation you have been feeling is likely just your brain trying to protect you from the unknown. But as a Libra, you are naturally equipped to navigate the unknown with grace. You don't need to see the whole staircase to take the first step. You just need to trust that the stairs are there. As you move through these final 72 hours of the month, try to maintain a state of open awareness. Don't go looking for the knock. Simply be ready to answer when it comes. It might come through a dream, a chance encounter, or a sudden change in plans that initially feels like an inconvenience. Remember that what looks like a detour is often the shortest path to where you are actually meant to be. Your sign is ruled by beauty and harmony, and destiny is currently trying to bring more of both into your life. But to make room for that new harmony, the old dissonance has to be addressed. Don't be afraid of a little temporary discomfort. It is just the sound of the old structures of your life making way for the new. These days are asking you to be bold in your pursuit of balance. Not the quiet, passive balance of someone who never makes a wave, but the dynamic, active balance of a person who knows exactly who they are and what they stand for. You have a unique gift for seeing the world as it could be, rather than just as it is. Now is the time to apply that vision to your own life. What does your destiny look like when it is no longer filtered through the expectations of others? What would you do if you knew that the timing was finally on your side? These are the questions that January 29th, 30th, and 31st are putting in front of you. As this month concludes, take a moment to breathe and acknowledge how far you have come. You have navigated the complexities of the early year with your characteristic poise, and now you are being rewarded with a moment of true potential. The door is right there. The knock is unmistakable. Whether it is a new relationship, a career shift, or a profound internal awakening, know that you are ready for it. You have the wisdom, the grace, and the strength to step through and claim the next version of your life. If this message resonated with your journey and you feel the energy of these upcoming days shifting in your favor, I invite you to share your thoughts. Hearing how these themes manifest in your own life helps us all feel more connected to the shared experience of being a Libra. If you found value in this perspective and want to stay aligned with the rhythms of your sign, please consider liking this video and sharing it with someone who might need this encouragement. And of course, if you haven't already, subscribe to Libra Zone to join our community and stay updated on the insights that help you navigate your path with confidence. We are here to support you as you find your balance and answer the call of your own destiny. Thank you for being here, and remember that the scales are in your hands. Trust yourself, stay aware, and be ready to welcome the opportunities that the end of January is bringing to your doorstep. Until next time, stay centered and keep moving toward the light.